5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Hello, and thank you for joining us once again on Profiler with me, Jeremiah, your host, right here on Truth Music Radio, where the truth is always the right choice. This evening we have in conversation a special guest. She's simply known as Sistah Char. She's a mother, a singer-songwriter. She went to the University of Greenwich, where she obtained an undergraduate degree in English. She went on to completing her postgraduate qualification and is currently a school teacher. Sistah Char.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, bless you, my sister.
Blessings.
Blessings. So, how is your day?
Yeah, my day's been good. Just been enjoying the sunshine. Bathing in the garden.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for choosing to have a conversation with Truth Music Radio. All right.
No problem at all.
Right. Okay, well, let's begin with it, Sistah Char. Your name is Sistah Char on your, I'm looking at your album and so on. You are listed as Sistah Char. What's the Char for?
Oh, because my full name's Charlene, but just to shorten it, most people call me Char.
Most people call you Char.
Yeah, simply just Sistah Char. Yeah.
I want to talk about your musical background. That's where I want to start from. You come from a musical family?
Kind of. I grew up with my parents my dad used to have some decks. He used to love his vinyl records. So I grew up with that every Saturday morning, like the reggae gets played from 8 a.m. in the morning until you go to bed. So I grew up with a lot of reggae, a little bit of Beres, some Buju, all those lovers rock, like the sound system. I grew up with all of that. So I've always had kind of musical influence there, like from young, from small.
Right. So what, your dad is a singer? Or he's just in love with reggae music?
He's literally just in love with reggae music. So I don't really have, well, my eldest sister, she used to be the singer of the family. So she studied performing arts. So it was her that used to be going around and doing shows here and there, theatre shows, singing here, there and everywhere. So she was mostly the singer. I actually didn't start singing until I was... So
your sister was doing the gigs?
Yeah, she used to do gigs. She was trying to get out there and become a recording artist when she was like in her early teens.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
So I guess you grew up you were looking up to your sister basically, huh?
Yeah, basically, yeah. She was my little go-to girl for the singing.
So you mentioned your father, a reggae music lover and so on.
Yeah.
Where is he? How is your father today? Is he still in love with reggae music?
Yeah, both him and my mother, the two of them together, love reggae music. In fact, she's downstairs listening to it now in the garden. Step in.
And what about your sister? Has she branched out into the world stage?
No, it's funny. We kind of switched places. Now she stopped singing and I've kind of taken up the mantle.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, but you started singing from a baby?
No, I actually only started singing... How old am I now? I started singing when I was about 25. 25? I was a late bloomer.
So, I mean, you have a lovely voice. What stopped you from actually pursuing this at a younger age?
It was never really an interest in me. I was more into dance. I used to be a part of a street dance group.
What street dance group is that?
I was in one group called Ergonomics.
Ergonomics?
Another one called Boy Blue.
Was that known in the UK?
Yeah, it was mostly known throughout East London. They used to do shows in Walthamstow Town Hall and things like that. We used to take part in the street dance competition of London and things like that. So I was more into street dance, and that's what I did for the majority of my teenage years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
When I was young and fit.
When you was young and fit. Okay, so you from that dancing background and so forth. So what happened? Why did you stop that?
I don't know, I think just age. I was just trying to pursue a career that wasn't bringing no money. I needed a career, so that's when I just kind of turned my head towards my studies and just focused on that for the time being, yeah. I
see. So you say at the age of 21 you realized you had something?
25.
25, wow.
Yeah, I was 25. I think that's when I first joined the church, and I thought, choir. And that's when I found my love for worship. So then that's where it all began.
But before that, with the voice that you have, somebody must have said to you, wow, you have a lovely voice. I mean, even though you had no interest in pursuing the music scene, but somebody must have said you have a lovely voice and you should, hone your talents, if you will.
I didn't used to sing at all. Like, I would only used to sing if I was listening to MTV or MTV Base. Then I would sing along to the songs, but I didn't ever showcase my talent to sing at all. It was a hidden gem.
Oh my! But you knew within yourself that you had something.
I didn't really look at it, to be honest. I never used to think, "Oh, Char, you can sing." Like I just never paid no mind to it. I just paid it no attention at all because it was never my focus. So literally, it was just unnoticed, like literally.
Wow, that's rare for such a unique gift. Normally somebody within the family would actually say, "Wow, you can sing," or they hear you singing in the shower. You know what I mean?
Because my sister was in the limelight, it was more so she was the focus for the singing, so nobody kind of looked anywhere else for the singing. It's mostly everyone just looked to her.
I see. I see. So you mentioned before that you grew up, obviously your father, he was the one that actually, you and your mother loved the reggae music. Your sister was singing. Did you actually grow, were you around other professional people, singers and musicians growing up?
Not really. The only one that I knew that could sing was my sister. So I did meet her manager a couple of times. But it was just all very alien to me. One, because I had no interest in it, and two, because I was so young.
Right.
So it was just very alien to me. I didn't really have an opinion on it or a thought about it. It was just something that my sister did. So I didn't really pay it no mind, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, I see. So you grew up in the church?
I grew up going to Catholic church on a Sunday. Mum used to force us, make us go, and then and take the bread and the wine. But yeah, I grew up singing hymns in the Catholic church.
Right. So which church were you going at the time when you were part of the choir and so on?
It was a church. It was a Christian church in Ilford called Eden Christian Centre. So that's where my kind of spiritual journey began.
Right. So what happened? You went to church and you broke out in spirit and just started singing. What happened?
Because I think when I went to that church, I thought, oh my, the praise, they used to have like a 40-minute to an hour praise and worship session before the actual word was given. So it was just like the people that they could really sing, and it just, it gets you all emotional when you're there, you're crying, just one with the spirit. And just, I was like, no, it's really amazing. It was very touching, and I thought, wow, like that's something that I'd like to get into. So it kind of sparked my interest there at that point.
So you just started singing and somebody said, wow, she can sing.
I think, I went there going there for a good few months, and then I approached the choir leader and said that I wanted to join the choir. So at that point, my vocals were not trained to that extent, although I had like a little bit, I could hold a note.
Right.
But it was only through the continuous, choir practices that I kind of honed my gift and started to work on it, and then it just started to get better and better from there through the practice.
Right. So through that practice, you became the Aretha Franklin of your local church.
I wish I could hit some of them Aretha notes, but yeah. Then from there, just from holding the gift, I was able to. My pastor approached me and asked me to become one of the worship leaders for that church at that time.
Okay.
So yeah.
And you end up becoming the choir leader?
I wasn't the choir leader, just one of there's had quite a few. There's about, how many? There's about four people that used to lead worship, used to just rotate it. So I was just one of the worship leaders for that time.
I see.
Yeah.
But you enjoyed the newfound talent, if you will.
Yeah, definitely. Loved it.
Whilst we're on the subject of the church, what are your thoughts on the different genre of gospel music today?
I think it's nice that there is a variety, like, out there, because it kind of gives everyone something to listen to. Whereas before, most of the gospel music was very slow paced, and you kind of had to be in that kind of solemn mindset to listen to it. I think now there's more of a gospel music is covering most genres. You've got something to listen to for every mood that you're in a sense. So you don't have to kind of go back to the secular music if you want something a little bit more upbeat to listen to. So I think gospel music is on the rise. It's getting better. It's getting better. Yeah.
But do you believe that gospel music has become too similar, if you will, to secular music?
Oh yeah. I think there are definitely some gospel artists out there that I just think that's just not even gospel. That's just fully secular, and I will not be listening to it. So I think there is a thin line, because whereas a lot of people think, just because the name God or Jesus is mentioned, they think, it's all right to listen to. But actually, the lifestyle of some of these artists, and even some of the lyrics that they're working with, is just slightly anti-God altogether. So you do have to be mindful and careful of the artists that you pick from when you're listening to gospel music.
Right. So you find it a bit, it's flashy. I find it flashy and...
Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that. I agree to an extent. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Right. And do you have any singer or musician within the gospel music world, that you find as inspiration, or you can draw some inspiration from?
Yeah, there's quite a few. I used to love listening to Kiera Sheard. I thought that she had, mostly her earlier stuff, I thought was very heartfelt. You could tell that she really had a passion for singing. Like Tasha Cobb, she could tell she had a real passion for the Most High, and that really came across in not just how she sang, but the lyrics to her songs. The Clark sisters. Marvin Sapp is another one that I love to listen to. So yeah, there's a few artists that are really, really kind of carrying the torch in the gospel scene.
That's good. And what about teaching music? Do you teach music?
Do I teach music?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I do a few ad hoc vocal training sessions for those who are interested, but I'm not professionally trained to give the session, so I just go based on what I've learned over the years and just trying to share that knowledge and how I've got to where I am now vocally with those that are interested. So, yeah. You
play the instruments as well?
No, I don't play instruments, but I wished I played the bass guitar and the drums. Those are my favourite instruments.
You have a song, Celebrate. That's a very powerful song.
Yeah.
What was going through your head at that time when you penned that one?
I think when I first wrote that song, I was very new, in this truth, and I was just extremely grateful to have been given this knowledge, but not only been given it, but to have accepted it in my heart as the truth. There's two different things. Someone can give you the truth, but you're not really paying no attention to it. But for me to actually have accepted it, I was really grateful for that. And so I was just very joyful, and I just wanted to celebrate literally the Most High's name alone, because it was so profound to me that all these years from a child, I'd grown up with my mum talking about God, going to Catholic schools, both primary and secondary, and all of those years, well into my 25s, and not have ever known the true name of the Most High. So it was a very profound moment for me, and then I was like, no, I want to give that name, the true name of the Most High, glory, honor, and praise, and that's how that song was birthed.
Right. What creative process do you go through when you're writing your songs? Because you write your own songs, don't you?
Yeah.
Tell the listeners what creative process. How do you prepare yourself to get in that space of mind?
Yeah, I usually just say a word of prayer, and then I'll take either two avenues. I will either read a scripture and then try to draw inspiration from that, and then try to write based around that scripture, or I will listen to a song and then just try and get a feel for what comes to mind while that song's playing. Or I could just be out with friends and they say something or they do something that sparks something in my mind, and then I'll get a line of a song from that. So this takes different forms, depends. Yeah.
I see. And I keep saying with a voice like yours, because you do have a truly powerful and amazing gift. But with a voice like yours, it's like an R&B type of, nice tone. Yeah, have you heard that before?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, oftentimes you hear of singers and musicians who grew up in the church and have a foundation within the church. And you hear that they've now branched off onto the world stage, if you will. Weren't you tempted to step into the secular arena and become the next Whitney Houston?
Because I started off in the church, and that's where the gift started, I've always just wanted to be gospel. I haven't thought about, let me become secular. I have thought about, trying to take the gospel message that I have to try and take it mainstream. So that's just my goal now, just to try and reach as many people as possible, but I still want the message to remain a gospel message.
Right. So you say you've tried to take this message mainstream. Can you emphasize a bit on that? How did you try to take it mainstream?
Just by reaching out to more mainstream outlets with how you put the music out. So just like YouTube, and having like UK Entertainment Awards. That's like we have the Brit Awards and all of that kind of thing, but it's like a Black-owned entertainment awards where they do have both secular and gospel, a gospel stage for up and coming artists. Right. So it's just getting into those kind of circles there, so that you can branch out and take the message to those that you wouldn't necessarily be able to reach had you stayed kind of in the gospel scene itself. Yeah, so that's the plan going forward. Okay,
because when you look, some of the stage that they have out there, like, the X Factor and The Voice and so forth, where you have attempted to go on those platforms?
I remember when I was teaching one time, and then one of my co-workers had heard something of what I was singing on YouTube, and then they were like, "Oh, you should go on the X Factor." And I was actually in whilst I was in the Christian church, I was in a group called His.
All right.
It stands for Honor in Song, and it was me and two other girls, and we were actually scouted for The Voice to go on there, and they headhunted us.
How were you?
They asked us to go on The Voice and to become one of the contestants. But, where the message was gospel, and we had heard, how they would want you to dress, and it was a little bit against our morals and values. So we just decided not to go down that route and not to go ahead with the show. We just thought they would try to change too much of what we were doing at the time or what we had going on. So yeah, we decided against it.
Do you regret that decision today?
In a sense, yeah, because I think that we could have only have known, what they would have done had we gone through the experience, and it could have given us some exposure with the message that we had at the time. And if you didn't, like what they wanted you to do, then you could have just, backed out at that point. But when we didn't go ahead and do it, it's kind of now we'll never know what the experience could have been like, or what light it could have brought to others, or we could have brought to others. So yeah.
So if Simon Cowell come knocking, Cycle label come knocking right now, Sistah Char, we need you to sign. What would you say to that?
You know what? Because I've got so many preconceived ideas about, what it's like when people sign on the dotted line. I'm a little bit cautious about them things, and I'll try to remain as independent as I possibly can, as far as I can. I'm not really interested in because I just, these artists these days, especially with the secular world, they're just doing too much. They're all just doing too much. It's just so sometimes you see some of the things they put out there, and I'm just like, somebody take me to a remote village where I can live there by myself, because what they're doing is just too much. So yeah, I try to avoid it as much as possible and just try to stay independent as I can. Yeah.
What would you say to especially those young, vulnerable, young people, girls, that have a talent and will by any means necessary try to obtain the spotlight? What advice would you give to such people?
I would just say, it's not worth it. I think that there are so many artists, especially in this day and age, like there are so many artists that are independent, and you can actually do it yourself. There are publishing companies that you can approach yourself to put your music out there, and they can put it on every single platform properly, every single platform that's there. You can do your own promotion or hire someone to do it for you. You don't actually or necessarily need, because only for the money that you would usually make that kind of choice, because they give you like a lump sum. But by the time they take all the rights to your music, by the end of it, you end up with less than you would have had you have just stayed an independent artist. So I would just say, you know what, you can do it independently. The limelight, it might come at a slower pace, but what they would ask you to sacrifice is not worth you signing on the line there and then just for a bit of cash so you can become known quickly. Just take time and learn the craft, learn the business around the craft for yourself. A little bit of reading don't hurt nobody. Oh yeah, yeah, that's my advice for them.
Right, because you can see a lot of young girls and young men who aspire to be musicians and singers. They hastily run into this thing and end up regretting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know a few examples of some, especially in the UK. Like there are some UK rappers or grime artists that were in their heyday, they were excellent, they were wonderful, and they were signed by some of the, the Dizzy Rascals and the JMEs that were signed under them, or the So Sonic Crews. They signed these artists, and those artists are like never to be heard of again. Where they sign you, and then they don't put enough of you out there, so it's like you get to a certain ceiling, and then nobody ever hears of you again. Whereas if you just continue down that road independently, you would still be putting out music. I remember that when you do sign them, they own the rights to your name, all the songs that you put out there. You have to give them a fee, so it's just not worth it.
Right. Do you believe that grime music have any place within the gospel arena?
Yeah, I think my thing is not so much it's the lyrics. For me, it's more so the lyrics that are on there. I mean, if within the gospel arena, remember, people come from so many different walks of life. So if you are trying to target certain people, I can't go to like some of my cousins who have been like rolled their whole life and play them Kira Sheard or Tasha Cobbs, because they're going to be like, what nonsense are you playing me? However, if I took them a little bit of Gabe, Goodbye Ya Allah, and said, no, you don't hear this, then they're going to be more inclined to be like, oh, like, what's my man saying? Like, what's he talking about? And they'll be more inclined to listen to that. And that will be their way in to the gospel scene. So I think there's definitely a place for all genres. I think it's the lyrics that are on the track, not necessarily the beat behind the lyrics, that is the issue. Yeah. Yes, I agree.
Obviously, Char, we said in the open that you are also a teacher. You went to the University of Greenwich, right?
Yes, I did, yeah.
And you currently hold what, 2 degrees?
I hold a degree and a postgraduate, so that's just when I did my teacher training. My degree was in law and sociology.
I see.
My teacher training, yeah.
Okay, so you becoming a teacher, did you always want to become a teacher?
Yeah, literally. I remember when I was like 9 or 10, I used to like sit in my room and make my own registers and then call out the children's name and mark them off. As if I'd say I was teaching my dollies. But yeah, so it's always been a passion of mine from young. That was I was striving towards that. Yeah.
And what year do you teach? What year or grade?
Yeah, I teach primary education, so I can teach from reception, which is year 5, all the way up until year 6, which is 11 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and so talk to me about the classroom then. What are some of the challenges that you find within the classroom?
Wow. I mean, times are changing. I think nowadays you will have, children starting school who are still in nappies. And you as a teacher will have to, change that child's bum if they wee or poo. And I think, I don't know what's going on with the world, but how can you send your child to school and they're not potty trained? I think the things that teachers have to deal with this day and age is so, vast. Like, their mental health is in your hands. You've constantly got to be watching for safeguarding and whether you need to get social services involved in a family. Their education is in your hands. It's just their behaviour, their discipline. If they're not disciplined at home, it's expected that you will teach that child discipline and morals. So the job's not easy. It's not just teaching a child their ABCs or teaching them the continents of the world or how to read. It's so much more than that with the time that we're in.
So how do you deal with a misbehaved child? I mean, we're living in a world where you can hardly discipline a child. You can be struck off the register for speaking to a child in a certain manner. So how do you deal with that?
Every school has their own policy. So it is literally exactly the same. There are children who are so rude and you as a teacher cannot do anything about it. And the rules in the school are so pansy. It's like, okay, you have to go to a room at lunchtime and write on a piece of paper what you did and say you're sorry, and then you're allowed to go out and play and do whatever you're doing. There are some children in the schools that I've worked at that they're so naughty that if they get up and walk out of the classroom, they will have a one-to-one person take them outside to play football or basketball to calm them down. Oh, they just needed a timeout of the classroom. Like they can get up and it's like the children decide what they do, what they're doing and what they're not doing. If they don't want to do no work, they will get up and walk out of the classroom, and the teachers can do absolutely nothing about it. You can't call their parents because it's seen as you're not including them in your school, so it's not inclusive. There are some children who are severely, disabled or have certain disabilities that they would force you to have in your class. And even though you can't provide an education for that child because their abilities don't allow them to access the curriculum, how they've set it up, you still have to have that child in your class because it's seen as not inclusive. So I think teachers go through a lot in this day and age. It is a difficult job.
Do they know? Do your students know that you can sing?
Yeah, they do. I think the school that I'm at now, I was very open about it. I've showed them a couple of videos of me. Oh, it's just for me. I did that because they don't really. The area that I'm in is one where they're lacking aspiration, and there isn't much for them to do. So my reason for showing them that was to say, look, you guys are young. If you have a passion or a hobby, it's about you pursuing it. Don't turn to the streets or to the wrong thing. There's always something or a gift or a skill or talent that you have that you can use as your happiness or your joy, or to bring you out of a dark place. If your family life isn't that great, you have this thing that you can use to help you to become a better person, or to hold on to, so that you can just move through life with a little bit of joy and comfort. Do
you find it rewarding, being a teacher?
Yeah, I think definitely. Most of the time it is rewarding, because you do have some wonderful children out there that are so gifted and are so talented, and you think, no, you really want that child to go far and to do well. So it's with those children there, that's why you stay in it, because you think, you know what, I really want that child to make something of themselves. So even if it's just you that I can touch, and that you will go on to do great things, and so be it, then it was worth it.
But you also carry a squeeze ball, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Daily. Most definitely. There's some kids out there you think, no way. If you were ever my child.
Yes. What are the schools like right now, in light of what's going on in the world, from your perspective?
I think that they're very strange places at the moment. They're not like what anyone would have experienced growing up. They're not even like what the children that are experiencing now would have experienced in their school time. They are isolating the children. You have to do everything at your desk. Literally, you cannot get up for no reason at all. You eat at your desk. You do your work at your desk. You cannot share pencils. You can't bring pencils in from home. This is due to spreading germs. If you go out in the classroom, you must wash your hands. You come back in the classroom, you must wash your hands. It's like some children are washing their hands so much that their hands are red raw, literally, and cracking and bleeding because of how much their parents are making them wash their hands, and how much sanitizer they're using constantly. I think that my school is placing a very heavy, or the curriculum is now focused on the children's mental health.
I see.
So they're mostly doing activities to help them to cope with the crisis that's going on at the moment, or to help them cope with the environment that they're in. Remember, they've got to walk 2 meters apart. They can't play with any of the equipment at break or play times. They've just got to sit and talk to each other, or play non-contact games. So it's very antisocial. They've turned a social setting into something that is completely antisocial, and where you just have to be very cold, because if a child comes to give you a hug, you've got to be like, no, stay back, you cannot hug me, we're not allowed, kind of thing. So it's just it's weakening their emotions. It's a very strange place right now.
Wow. And do the children look happy?
To be honest, some of them are not very happy. Some of them will prefer not to come to school. But I don't know if we're due to the parents working, or due to the parents just needing a break. They're sending their kids in anyway. So some children you find are very, very defiant and disruptive. And then you have those who are a little bit more tolerant, where they will just get on with it and just, like you say, like, go and wash your hands, and they'll be like, okay, miss. Or come on, sit down, you can't be out of your desk. And it's like, okay, miss, I'll go and sit back down. So, yeah, there's 2 types of kids in this environment.
Wow. Okay, let's move on. I want to talk about your EP? You released unveiled EP, the first one. I want to talk about you've released 2, isn't it?
Yeah, 2, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to talk about the unveiled one. Listening audience, you can actually get to view unveiled one. Where is this, on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube, and it's on most digital platforms. So you can find it on YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon. So yeah, it's on all the digital platforms. So
unveiled one is 8 tracks, 25 minutes and 50 seconds, huh?
Yep.
When did you release unveiled one?
That was released in 2017.
Right. And
Yeah.
like I've just said, it's 8 tracks. You have a track on it that's called Love Like This. You know, what inspired this track? It's very powerful. What inspired that?
I have so much to say, so many things running through my mind. Where do I start trying to explain? I have so much to tell you. I'll just start by simply saying thank you. Who am I that you're mindful of me? I'm grateful for every blessing. No, I don't deserve it. Never known a love like this. Never seen a love like this. Never known a love like this. No, I don't deserve it. I marvel at your goodness. Never known a love like this. Never seen a love like this. Never known love like this. No, I don't deserve it. I marvel at your goodness. Love like this. I'll never know love like this. So much precious blood shed for me. Yeah. You offered up your one sacred son. He didn't say a word, held his tongue. Born a high and lofty king, came down because of sin. Laid down his life just for us. Righteous, holy, worthy. A higher, you were perfect. Never known a love like this. Never seen a love like this. Never known a love like this. No, I don't deserve it. I marvel at your goodness. Never known a love like this. Never seen a love like this. Never known love like this. No, I don't deserve it. I marvel at your goodness. Love like this. So I thank you once again for you forgave my sin. Laid down your life just for us. So all I wanna say is a higher, I worship your name. I've never known a love like this. Never seen a love like this. Never known a love like this. No, I don't deserve it. I marvel at your purpose. Never known a love like this. Never seen a love like this. Never known love. Never known a this. No, I don't deserve it. I marvel at your goodness. Love like this.
That was, I remember one day I was just in my room. I think it was late that night, and I was just literally like writing a letter to the Most High. And I was just saying to him, you know, I've got so much to say to you. Like, I'm just really grateful for the fact that I'm here alive today. I was literally just counting my blessings. I'm alive. I have mobility. My senses are working.
Yes.
You know, you sent your son down just for me. I wasn't worthy, but you still sent him anyway. Like, whether or not I accepted him or not, you still sent him. I could have been ungrateful, but you still sent him. So I was just very grateful for him and the fact that he had made a way for me to come back to him.
Right.
That song was just me pouring out my heart to the Most High to say I'm really grateful for you and for what you did with Christ. So yeah, that's where it came from.
You can hear it in the track. And what about Paid It All? That's another powerful track that you have on the Unveiled One EP. What about Paid It All?
about to tell you why, but I'm gonna have to take my time for this one. You know he paid a price. Yeah, they pierced him all up in his side. Blood and water came trickling out, but in the midst I found my freedom, yeah. See, I'm excited about it. On the cross he said it was finished. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm screaming, shouting about it. He paid it all for me. Every sin was laid upon him. Yes, he paid it all for me. Got a smile on my face when I'm walking around here. I don't care who stares when I'm walking around here, Yeah, he said it was finished. Christ came down with a message. Free from sin if you believe on him. So if you wanna partake in the blessing, come take part in the lesson. I'm gonna break it down for you. You got 1, 2, a higher setting for you. 3, 4, you gotta sin no more. 5, 6, gotta keep the commandments. 7, 8, humble yourself and pray. 9, 10, don't go back to your sin. If you really wanna rise up with your Savior, Christ made a way for you. All you gotta do is follow his perfect example. Do you know that he made a way? See, I'm excited about it. On the cross he said it was finished. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm screaming, shouting about it. He paid it all for me. Every sin was laid upon him. Yes, he paid it all for me. Got a smile on my face when I'm walking around here. I don't care who stares when I'm walking around here,
How did that come about?
That one came about because I was just thinking, like, you know, Christ and the Most High, they're not things that you should be ashamed of. It's something that I should wear proudly. So when I started the track, I was like, yeah, I'm walking with my head held high. So I'm not ashamed. I'm not embarrassed to say that I stand for Christ. I was happy, and that's why I chose that beat specifically. It's got a little bit of a pump to it.
Yes.
Just so people can listen to it and be on a high with me, to say Christ literally paid it all for me. Everything you did was so that we could come back to the Most High. So it was just, yeah, like a head held high kind of proud track. Stand for Christ with pride.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we have a favorite track on that Unveiled one?
I think Love Like This, that's one of my favorites.
Yes.
And I also like Follow Christ as well. Yeah.
And what about Unveiled 2? That's 8 songs that the listening audience you can actually have for your pleasure. It's very powerful. Unveiled 2. Such tracks such as Miracles, you know, where you speak of you are the greatest ever. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your thought process behind that one?
Miracles was because sometimes we go through things in this truth, so it's like, actually, yes, we have this truth, but you know, every day I wake up and I'm smiling because, like, yes, you're a child of the Most High, but actually we do have an adversary there coming against us and sending his legions there to try and make us fall down, and constantly, like, it's a constant battle. So it's just like, you know, in the things that you're going through, you know, ask the Most High parted the Red Sea, so he can do anything. Yes. So it's just like, if you have a need, just ask the Most High to just send it down and pour out those miracles that you need so that you can continue your walk faithfully. So yeah, that's where that song stemmed from. Yes.
You have another song on it called Close Your Eyes, and Zeal, where you speak of picking yourself up.
Yeah, and so I think, you know, zeal was because, you know, we can get complacent. Sometimes, you know, when you first learn the truth and you've got so much zeal and passion, and as you slowly go on, you start to see it slowly, you know, you don't read as much, you don't pray as much. So it's like, no, actually, you can do those things that you used to do. You just got to pick yourself up and just get back to that first love that you had. Don't let procrastination kind of knock you off your store. Close Your Eyes was just, you know, me just imagining reigning with Christ. So when he comes back at that time, just imagining me being with him, and just how it will be, like him giving you a crown of glory. That's the ultimate goal of everyone that wants to try and make it. That's the goal. So it was just, imagining that so that you can work towards it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And what are your future plans? I mean, what's next for Sistah Char? Are you going to do future collaborations?
Yeah, definitely. I think my next step is to get some visuals out there. So just to shoot some music videos. And I've got an Unveiled Deluxe version coming soon.
Yes.
So the Unveiled 2. So I've got a few more tracks added to the Unveiled 2 playlist. And that will come out on the deluxe version. And then I'm working on the album, which will be coming out next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
So we can look forward to that.
Yep. Most I'm willing.
You're going to be doing some concerts in the UK?
I'm hoping to do a little live concert. I'm hoping to try and get some live musicians. So if you are out there, please get in contact. Where I'll just hire a little venue and just have some live music of all of my tracks from Unveiled 1 and Unveiled 2 just played live in a nice little venue.
Yes.
Oh yeah, those are the hopes.
And is a lockdown concert coming near to a laptop, Is a concert coming on Zoom?
I was thinking about it. I need to try and work out how to do this whole Zoom and make the sound, make it sound good. I don't like to put things out there that are not good quality.
Yes.
So if I can find a way to play the backing tracks and sing so that it sounds balanced, then definitely. Yeah.
Right. And where did you say people can purchase your music, watch your music, listen to your music? What are the platforms?
So you can find me on every platform, YouTube, Instagram, just at Sistah Char. So that's Sistah, and then Char, Char. And I'm on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. You can find my music on Spotify, Google Play, Amazon. Just type me in Google and I will come up. So yeah, please do follow, subscribe, support, and support the movement.
Any last words?
Yeah, just everyone stay strong. Don't give up the fight. Keep pushing, and if you do have a talent or a gift that the Most High has given you, don't sit on it. Use it, because there's been people have given me testimonies that I listened to your song and the Most High used that to tell me not to give up on my own gift or to start this business or to do this. So that's the whole point of it, is to encourage and help each other. And the music's not for me; it's for those who are in this walk with me. So yeah, please don't give up on your gifts and just keep pushing.
Well, there you have it, listening audience. That completes our interview this evening with Sistah Char. She's not only an intelligent woman, but she also has a very powerful and beautiful gift. And Sistah Char, all the best, my sister. All right, and
Thank you very much for having me.
We look forward for the release of the album. All right, so
lovely.
thank you for joining us on Profiler this evening.
Every day I wake up, this thought comes to me. You are a child of the Most High, set free. That puts a smile on my face, then I think that comes with lots of animosity. See, there is one that be jealous of me, since he had picked me as his chosen seed. Now he be waging a war against me, since he was cast out of heaven for sin. Now he be conjuring legions for me, trying to make me fall down constantly. I've been like, Lord, won't you come help me, please? Please open up the Red Sea just for me. Miracles, 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 that about miracles, 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 that about just like the wall at Jericho temple at the sound of its ring. Pour out your miracles, Lord. Pour out your miracles, 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 that about miracles, 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 that about just like the wall. thought comes to me. I am a child of the Most High, set free. It brings a smile to my face when I think the power of heaven is protecting me. Sent down his son so that I could be free. Now I am free from my sins, I am clean, cause I believed on his name sincerely. I got baptized and the water cleansed me. Now I have the Holy Spirit as a guide. I got no more shame, I don't gotta hide. You send the miracles, 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 they came down on me. My Savior's the one who's the miracle who came down on me. Miracles, 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 miracles. Just like the one that Jericho temple had the sun. Pour out your miracles, Lord. Pour out your miracles, 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 none about me. Miracles, 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 none about me. Just like the one that Jericho temple had the sun. Pour out your miracles, Lord.
All right, listening audience, thank you so much for completing the journey with us this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure. We wish you all the best for the rest of the week. And as we always say, until next time, walk good.